Just because you bought military surplus rifles doesn't mean they have to look old, disgusting, and beat up. In this video, I'm going to show you how to restore the woodwork on an old military surp rifle. So this Lee-Enfield is in really bad shape. As you can see, the stock is busted. The stock is completely full of oil. It's jet black and it looks absolutely awful. It's actually a shotgun. It's not even a rifle. It's actually a Initial 410 shotgun, which was converted. Did have to buy some new parts. It was missing the top handguards and also the stock with it being broken. I did buy a replacement. But again, as you can see, they're completely wrong color. So all of these things in the end need to match. So the first thing you're going to want to do is basically remove the excess cosmoline off the surface of the wood. So basically, this is just going over with mineral spirits or whatever type of clean, acetone or whatever you're going to clean, and just get the worst of it off. At this point, as you can see, that's all been removed, but it's still jet black. So after that, the next thing we're going to do is use paint stripper. Now, paint stripper doesn't seem to be as good as it used to do, but it still does a good job. Might just take a little longer though. Now, some of you might be wondering at this point, why am I not using easy off oven cleaner? Well, you're going to find out as you watch this video the reason why I think that is not the way to go. So now the stock is completely dry. It's a little lighter, but it's still pretty dark. So especially with these dark oil stains, one thing I've found really useful is magic erasers. They actually do a really great job of pulling oil out of the stock. On this gun, I use probably about 6 or 7 of them. And the great thing about magic erasers is when they get dirty, you can actually wash them. So you can use them quite a lot in order to pull the oil out. Later on, I used some other techniques to pull the oil out, but as you can see on these really dark areas, it does a fantastic job. It takes a while, put quite a lot of hours into this, but I definitely think they are very, very good. After the paint stripper and also the magic erasers, this is where we're at. As you can see, if I was to just put linseed oil again at this point, it's not going to look very good because we have a mass of different colors going on. It is starting to lighten up a little bit, but there's still a lot of oil stains and marks in it. So I decided to take this a step further. I still felt it was too dark for wood, so I ended up getting some paper towels since I didn't have an immersion tank, soaking them in mineral spirits and wrapping them around the main stock and then putting that inside a garbage bag and leaving it outside for 24 hours. If you're going to try this, make sure you put it away from the house. Obviously, you're dealing with a flammable material here and you've got to be very careful. You definitely don't want to take a chance, so definitely do this outside. As you can see, my rags did end up being covered in cosmoline after 24 hours, so it was very successful in pulling a lot of the surface cosmoline out. And after that, I went a step further by using paper towels that were wet to actually go back over the stock and remove even more. So after that, this is where we were at. Still some dark stains in it. Definitely getting better, still not perfect. I still wanted to take it a step further, so I decided to look into some different products. So at this point, what I did is I ended up buying something called Crud Cutter. I found it online, doing some research on what removes oil. And this stuff I found on Amazon is amazing. I sprayed on, as you can see, you can just see the cosmoline sheeting off the wood. It does a really great job. In fact, I wish I'd done this sooner. Next time I do a gun, I'd probably use this sooner in the process. Probably right at the beginning, actually, because I think it's fantastic. But as you can see, it's pulling a lot of cosmoline out, and you'll see in the next section, it did make a big difference. The last thing I do before going ahead and bleaching the wood is to steam out any dents. I'm not going to take out every single dent, but I do want to take the worst ones out. I do stay away from any embossed numbers or cartouches that are in the wood, but just basically clean it up. The added bonus of this, it does tend to draw out more and more of the cosmoline. And at this point, we've got the wood completely cleaned up. It's looking much, much better, much lighter, but it's still not quite there. So the next thing I do is bleach the wood. I use a 2-part wood bleach, and this is going to really take the wood to a next level. So finally, after the wood bleach process is complete, this is where we're at. This is much, much lighter, much better. Bear in mind that this stock still has oil in it, which is actually by design. Once the finishes are applied, you're going to see some of that oil come back through, which I want because I want to make this gun look old. So at this point, we're ready to actually add the stain. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to add birchwood KC walnut stain, but only to the upper hand guards and also the rear stock. The main part of the stock is actually a little darker, so to make these all match, I'm just going to stain the other parts initially and see where they're at, and then go from there. And what I also have is a darker stain, which I will use a little bit in places too, in order to make them match better. So now we've got one coat on, you can see that they're actually matching the lower stock pretty well. And we're just going to build up from this. So now we're going to apply stain to all of the pieces and bring the color up to along the lines of this piece. So after 4 coats of stain, this is where we're at. I think our color at this point is really good. It's really matching well, and I just want to go ahead and then move on to the linseed oil process with this. One thing I did do is repair the damage that was missing on the underneath of the stock. I filled that and then used different furniture repair colors to blend it in so it doesn't look quite so obvious. So I didn't actually film adding the linseed oil part, unfortunately, but this is essentially after 3 coats. All the parts were done before the rifle was assembled. I gave them 3 coats of linseed oil. I really wasn't happy with it. I felt like it needed more, so I added an extra 4 coats. So this is, as you see it now, is with 7 coats of linseed on it. Now, one of the things it does, as you can see, and what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, why I don't use easy off, is because some of the oil is still in the stock, that oil actually comes to the surface. So what you get is you get some of that darkness and oldness kind of coming back through the wood stain. Obviously, the goal here is to make the rifle look old. It is an old rifle. We don't want it to look like a brand new gun, like it just fell out the factory yesterday. So by doing this, you are getting that old patina to it. And the best thing with linseed oil is over time this is going to get even better, because the stock itself will take on a reddish tinge to it, which will make it look fantastic. It's just a matter of time. But I would definitely recommend this. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned some things on how to restore the wood on a firearm. If you did, please feel free to like, subscribe, or comment on my video. Thank you. Until the next one.